The man streamed for an hour last night. Yeah, Kent streamed for an hour last night, apparently. So that means we've got a lot of crap to go through. And of course, I've decided, as a, I don't know if you'd call it a cheeky little nod to his titles or something, but I just went on and titled this just like his stream yesterday was. He always has that evolution is dumb and dangerous. So I decided I would do in kind, because why not? It's an attention getter. But I don't have any real preamble. We're just going to plop right in. As you see, of course, still on YouTube. Nothing else has changed. Just wanted to stress that and show the evolution is dumb and dangerous crap that they auto-title these things with. Funny that I would start with a little bit of a cough there, because he does the same. Let's get to it.
Excuse me. I get all choked up. I'm just thinking about Dinosaur Adventureland in Onyx, Alabama. It is November 21st. Tonight is the meteor shower. Get outside and look at the meteor. Shut your phone off. Shut the TV off. Whatever. Go watch the heavens. Okay, it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to run through a cloud of junk in space, and it's going to hit our atmosphere and blow and burn up. It's interesting. Everything's burning up, though. Nothing's getting better.
Oh, fucking Christ, Kent. Shut the fuck up. What do you expect when a boloid hits the atmosphere traveling at 30 and 40,000 kilometers a second? Come the fuck on, dude. And, that's the thing, is that you can't describe any of what's going on outside of extremely childish verbiage. It says everything people need to know about you that you don't know and don't care about anything. And then you got to snip that little crap in. Aren't it funny? It's just burning up. It's not getting better. Well, generally I wouldn't think things traveling through the atmosphere at a ridiculous velocity of like Mach 25, Mach 30, Mach fuck you. Mach 25 is like orbital velocity. Something more like Mach 50 or Mach 60. I don't think it'd survive very well.
Together. That's it. Anyway, tonight, open mic. Call in if you have disagree. We believe evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the history of the world.
Not a religion.
Never been a dumber or more dangerous idea. You teach the kids they're an animal, and then wonder, why do they act like animals?
Not a horrible idea at all. It's called fact. But instead of acknowledging that things are the way they are, you've got to have this magical story, which is weird that there's this inept deity you can't do shit about anything, yet it's supposed to be all powerful. So if you guys were correct at all, you'd have to account for the fact that your deity does precisely fuck all to help anyone or anything.
We're on a bunch of channels: Facebook, Rumble, let's see, X, let's see, our own app, KentHovind.tv, Instagram, TikTok. Join us, sign up for all of them. They're all free, okay? And let's see, right here. Corey Ten Boom said, don't bother to give God instructions, just report for duty. I love it. She was a great Jew, converted Jew. The Corey Ten Boom story.
Oh God, I need to start using the space bar. I'm so tired of the double click responding and causing that thing to minimize it. To go from full screen to non-full screen. She was a great Jew. What the fuck, Kent? Freudian slip there much? As if Jews aren't great. And people get mad when I say Hovind is an anti-Semitic Zionist, or more correctly, a Nazi Zionist. I really consider him such. They think it's a little too loaded. And I'm like, no, he is. He just doesn't say the quiet part out loud in this particular case. But he sure alludes to it. To the same ideas. But what else I was gonna say? Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck what this old bat had to say, and that's what is with this bullshit where you all think you're in some kind of army and that there's an actual fucking battle being fought. It's like, no, it isn't. It's just not how anything works. Reality is not your pretend land. Get the fuck over it. You're nothing special. You're not soldiers. You're a bunch of idiots who believe garbage. God.
Just really make you cry. It's amazing. How about this one, Joseph? Have you seen it? Gene was beginning to regret the tattoo on his neck.
How about this one, Joseph? Have you seen it? This little cartoon where this turkey's got the lines around his neck. Yeah, boomer humor. Yes, sir, Mr. Hovind. I sure have. Joseph hoping he doesn't get beat with the hose again.
I bet he will. Is this the one you did, Joseph? The Ark logistics summary?
Yes, sir.
You put that together?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, when animals get it like a Noah's Ark, they didn't have to go around feed them all. First place, you didn't have cages; you had just rooms, and just let the animal. Most of them go to sleep, or just if they can't run around active, they lay around. Okay, like some of you do. Okay. There's hibernation. They can become lethargic. There's brumation.
Can't read shit, Captain.
Like reptiles and dinosaurs. Food need 0. Okay. Estivation. That's like amphibians and lungfish. Torpor. You just get sleepy, okay? Diapause, and that's that one, cryptobiosis. I'm going to do a lot more research on that, but thank you, brother. That's an awesome start on. So many of the animals on Noah's Ark didn't have to do nothing for them. Just let them take care of themselves. And the rest of them.
Kent, why is this just in your introduction? Do you not remember that you're still in your introduction, your preamble to the main course? Why are you going this route?
You don't need to go around feed them. Just throw out bales of hay. They'll find it. We don't go hand feed our cows every day. Throw out a bale of hay. They find it. Okay.
Yeah, and not everything eats hay, dumbass. Even in your fantasy land where they think they did. Good fucking luck having a fucking dinosaur like a goddamn T-Rex eat plants with that kind of dentition.
Dentist a couple of days ago, I broke my tooth and had to go in yesterday with a bulldozer and get the root out. I'm still sore from that.
Aw, poor privileged Kent, able to go to the dentist. Aw, everyone pity poor Kent Hovind.
But there was a lady there at the dentist. She's the oldest lady I know of in Monroeville, 98 years old. Yeah. The secret to getting that old is don't die from anything. Okay. All right, Hank Green from Missoula, Montana.
Oh my god, here we fucking go. He just gets right into an extra whacking atheist. This is gonna be the same. I think this is the same one you did, Kent, a year and some change ago. That was my first video covering you that really blew up, but the editing wound up being terrible because I had things way too complexly structured in the creation process at the time. Yeah.
Says there's evidence for evolution. He's got a whole channel devoted to that with 8.32 million subscribers. And he says there's
Yeah, a lot of people care about actual fucking science, Kent. Too bad a lot of them don't care enough in the correct aspects of it.
Evidence for evolution. Hank, I disagree. I'll debate you anytime, okay? Bring it on. Somebody call Hank and tell him. Anyway, November 21st, next Thursday.
Yes, let me just pull open my Rolodex of big name YouTubers. Let's see. Here's that Ray William Johnson goober. Here's let's see. That person people behind shoes. There's them. There's there's the girl who did she does MST3K now. Let's see. There's James Rolfe. Ripped out Mike Matei because he's a douchebag. Here we go, Hank Green. Yeah, I'll just call him up.
Thursday is Thanksgiving. Come on down. We'll be your family for Thanksgiving. Come join us for Christmas. If you don't have a family.
And see, right there, he just goes right back into preamble. What the fuck was that? Bringing up Joseph's little chart and then randomly mentioning Hank Green. What the fuck, Kent?
We'll be your family. Come on down. I think our cabins are full already for Thanksgiving. I'm sorry.
Rather die, Kent.
About that. We're trying to finish 7 more apartments in the Ark, but right now they're not done. So if your carpenter want to help, please get down here and help. Okay, help us.
Oh, it's okay. Just throw out a bale of hay. The people in there will just wander around, go to sleep. They'll figure it out.
Open for free. Join our 777 clubs. I like what you're doing. I'm going to donate to keep you guys going. We've been open for free right here. Well, Pensacola for 27 years, and then here for almost.
It was not 27 years, Kent. You even just... It was not 27 years, Kent. The implication would have been you started Dinosaur Adventureland in 1980. And until such evidence is presented that it actually existed as that in 1980, no.
10 years. We just want to win souls.
Do you want to tell them if they got an odd email that says Malachi310 that is you?
I think I've got that coming up here. Let me see here.
The fuck, Joseph?
Yeah, here it is. In Malachi, the last book in the Old Testament, he said, will a man rob God? Yeah, ye have robbed me. But you say, where have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings.
I will shank your god and smile as it bleeds out. I don't give a fuck. Your god is a monster and deserves any kind of punishment that could happen to it. Oh, but I know you speak in metaphors, and Yamato took that too literally. No, I just had to express the level of disdain, the level of actually pure apathy to the concept of such a thing, something you hold in such high value that is absolutely meaningless to me. So yeah, I wouldn't just rob the motherfucker. I'd rob a mother goddamn life. Of course, your god doesn't exist, so it's a non-issue.
You're cursed with a curse. You have robbed me, this whole nation. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts.
What is there a divine economy of butchers, and he has to pay them to get some meat in his damn storehouses? He can't just conjure up some holy meat himself? What the fuck, bruh? What the fuck?
I will not open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing. There shall not be room enough to receive it. Malachi 3:10. Okay.
Malachi 3:10.
Bring all the tithes, it's the tenth, into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house, and prove me now. Here, test. God said, put me to the test. You bring the tithe, like he told him to. That's to take care of the Levites and those that are taking care of the ministry of the Lord. There were 12 sons of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. 12 sons of Jacob. His name was changed to Israel. And one of them was Levi, and all of his kids and descendants became the priest to take care of the temple and the tabernacle and do all the priestly duties, the counseling, write copies of scripture. And same thing in the world today. They're not priests anymore, but there are churches and pastors that need to go full time and not have to work a job so they can
Like me, because I'm not going to work a job. I'm not going to get wrapped up in that scam. Hovind.
spend full time on their ministry work. Brother, I work pretty hard around here on other stuff, but I still spend 4 or 5 hours.
And I find your work to be absolutely meaningless. In my system, what you do would not count as work. What any preacher does would not count as work. Do something that actually contributes to society. Not whatever the hell this shit that all of you do is.
Every day on a half-hour program. Yeah. Hope it shows, but
Oh my god, who the fuck cares about your stupid little show, Kent? Remember, we hate watch. I mean, people won't watch your stuff. They'll go through the filter of me or AJ or someone else who may cover something. What's his name? Oh fuck. Telltale was the online alias. Owen Morgan. He's been doing some Hovind stuff recently, and I hadn't watched much of it because I've had enough freaking Hovind. But he's been hitting it hard, and there you go. If anyone wants to experience Hovind through someone else, much safer way than actually trying to watch stuff on your own, unless you're completely fucking mental.
that's my job. So it's if you're not in the ministry, you should be supporting somebody who is in the ministry. If you don't like ours, find another one. Okay. Prove me now. Test me, God says. If I would open the windows of heaven. That word tithe is found in the Bible 14 times. Tithe is the tenth. Tithes, plural, is found in the Bible 24 times. In Hebrews chapter 7, Abraham gave a tenth part of all to Melchizedek, the priest. Interesting story. Telling
Oh yes, this Mal chokes on dick that you think is Jeebus. Yeah.
about what happened back in Genesis. Now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth of the spoils. This business of tithing is something that every Christian should learn to do soon. 10% of your increase. Now, if you are spending $50 to make $100, your increase is 50, not 100. But you can tithe on whatever you want. You cannot outgive God. Been 56 years for me now, Joseph. I give it all. He just keeps pouring it back. Okay. If you followed our creation ministry these last 35 years, you know we very rarely send out emails or texts asking for money.
Yeah, we just ask for it every single time I stream. And every time you come and visit.
Support the ministry outreach.
And, at the end of all our videos.
But we have some pressing needs here that I can tell you about. If you've not been tithing to support the work of the Lord, that can hinder God's blessings on your family and on your business.
Sounds like extortion to me. Boy, that's a pretty nice life you've got there. It'd be a shame if something happened to it because you didn't give these guys 10% of your money.
And you're wondering, why isn't my business making it? Are you tithing? How could I? It's hard to.
I don't know, Kent. It seems more like running a successful business would involve doing everything except just giving away 10% of your money. But I'm no financial expert. Maybe we should ask your friend Donny Boy, President Carrot, Cheeto Mussolini himself, since he's such a perfect businessman.
Hard to understand this. You can do better on 90% than you can on 100%.
Christ, Kent, you're fucking stupid. And I know he says all this under the implication that, oh, you sacrifice that little bit and God's going to give you a lot. One, why can't your deity just give you that outright if he's supposed to be so loving and generous? And two, just to actually say such things is absurd.
If God's blessing is with it, just works. Okay? We have 30 cabin spaces for families who visit, stay for free. We serve 3,000 meals every month for free. We allow people to copy our videotapes to spread the gospel faster for free. Okay? We've been open for free for 9.6 years and have seen many thousands visit and have their lives impacted for the Lord. If you know of other places to.
You know, Kent, I'm pretty sure the only people who watch you who still have VCRs are weirdos like me who enjoy obsolete media formats, are those who are so old and so infirmed at this stage that they are that it's hard to tell between them and outright dementia patients.
Invest that changes many lives for the Lord. Support them instead. Okay. All of our cabin spaces are often full, and again, they are again for this Thanksgiving. And here it is. We still got a week to go. We're going to get 20 phone calls saying, "Do you have room?" No, sorry. We're trying hard to finish the 7 apartments under.
I'm sure you could toss someone $20 out there in Lenox, Monroeville, Repton, where the fuck ever, and get a place to stay.
The construction in Noah's Ark right now. If you ever built or remodeled a house, you know the expenses involved. This is the expensive part: the plumbing, the electrical, the finishing, the doors. Take that number times 7 and get what we need right now to finish. You get an email from Malachi 3:10 at messaging.church. That is from us. Guy called me 2 days ago or yesterday. Said, I got a strange, is this email from you? I said, I never heard of it. I called you guys in the office. Oh yeah, that's us. So it is us, okay?
Well, you got another email to block. Mark as spam.
We can send you tax-deductible gifts. End of the year is a good time for that. And help keep the gospel out. Thanks, Ken Hovind. Okay, so that's it. Here's the south side of our Noah's Ark. Done. Still got to trim off the rafters and do a few things, but close enough. We'll call it done. The north side. We're going to put the septic field in, $2,800. Ordered it today. Had $200 in my pocket. I told Mike at Evergreen.
Oh, Kent. Live too far out in the country and don't have actual sewage out there?
In concrete. I said, how much is it? He said, $2,800. That's the tank and all the field stuff and all that. Okay, I got 200, Mike. Oh, no problem. I'll bring it out Monday. Stuck my neck out. Hope it's like that rooster or that whatever. Okay, seven apartments right behind the mini X where we're going to put them. First apartment under construction. Got the floor board down, ready to put. Anyway, it's going. First apartment under construction. You guys are doing great. There you are. You're world famous now, RJ. Look, is that you?
It's like RJ has.
RJ, yeah, RJ. Look at that, RJ with the hat, and yeah, there's a second apartment. 2 and 3 are not under construction yet. Okay, we're going to do one at a time. Get one done. The third floor, 172 feet long. Come help us build Noah's Ark down here. Let's see. This guy wrote me a letter. That was what, 2 days ago. You sent it to me, Joseph. My name is Nikki.
Oh my fucking God. Here we go. Oh, this is going to be great.
I never got to thank you for helping me come to the Lord. Back in the 90s, I was a depressed child. In my early teens, I felt hopeless, and my bitterness towards God was making it hard to believe anymore. My Russian parents brought some of your seminars on video cassette and played them often. The videos were translated into Russian. They would bring home friends and neighbors to watch and discuss. My parents did not know it, but I was very lost and needed hope. The devil had me.
Good God, this is pathetic.
I lived in a dark cloud. I cried every night for about a half hour. With no hope, I wanted to end it all. If you would have seen me as a kid, you would have never suspected my sad state. I hid it well. But at 12 years old, After everyone was asleep, I would go downstairs to watch your videos. I began to believe again. If Genesis is true, I thought there must be a God. Finally, at the age of 16, I heard the gospel, gave my life to Jesus Christ, and was baptized.
Oh, and those stupid fucking crocodile tears, that little tremble in the voice, like this man feels any emotion at all. God, this is pathetic.
I write this with tears in my eyes. Thank you, Brother Hovind, for your work, for your witness. I'm 36 now, have 3 kids. We're happy home. We serve the Lord. I still share your videos with people I meet. Amen. That's what they're for, please. You don't ration out bullets during wartime, okay? If you want
So see, I see your problem here. This person was born right as the Soviet Union was collapsing. They're 36, so that would mean they were born in roughly 89. So, yeah, you kind of had Berlin Wall fall. You had the very beginnings of border openings to a point where where nations began thinking we might leave the Soviet Union, and everything started going to shit. In fact, that's probably a non-zero chance on why his parents seems like wound up in the States. And let's see, you being 12, you're born 89, so that would have meant, man, I mean, we're talking into the 2000s here, dude. So, yeah, timeline adds up, but I mean, just like, dude, okay. I mean, what do you say? I mean, part of me wants to call bullshit on this, but another part of me is just like, this actually wouldn't be the craziest thing.
to get one of my video series and make 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 copies, as long as you're giving them away, not selling them, please do.
Yes, because someone's going to invest all that money on making copies of those things, like physical copies. You just give people rips of it, or even better, the shit's all on YouTube. Just send them a link. The fact that anyone buys that stuff is terrifying.
I got to call that guy in Dallas. He made 46,000 copies and passed them out all over. That was years ago I talked to him. Anyway, Noah's Ark. Okay, so let's go to, what's his name? There he is. Hank is going to show us evidence for evolution. If you have questions, if you believe that, if you want to call in, be on the show, say, I think there's evidence, bring it on. Okay, here we go.
Unless you've had it removed, you, like every other person in the world, have an appendix, which is kind of a stupid thing to have in your body. It doesn't.
He said you don't need your opinion.
Anyone offhand know what language those captions are? Because I'm kind of curious. Looks like a Romance language of some kind. Let me hit it with the Google Translate real quick while Hovind says a spiel, and I'll see what it is.
Appendix. This is Hank. Hank, I don't know what you do for a living, but hope it's not science. We'll talk in a minute.
Do much. It kind of cuddles with your intestines. I imagine your intestines don't mind.
Oh, Estonian. Oh yeah. I see now the stuff that is most definitely not Romance language based. Why do you have subtitles on in Estonian, Kent? Why?
And having something to cuddle with, it does provide that function. It also holds on to some gut bacteria, which is nice, but it pretty much does nothing for your entire life until the day when suddenly it has an uprising and decides to kill you.
Great, Hank, let's talk about appendix here. Let me go to right here. And the appendix. I've got to get over here, Joseph.
Here we go. Before the video even starts, Kent has to go through his slides and ramble on about a goddamned hour.
I lost my mouse, ran away. Vestigial structures. Is the appendix vestigial? Well, let's see here. There. Vestigial.
How about you focus on what the appendix is in and of itself in the same way Hank is about to, as opposed to just going through your script. Oh, right, I forgot. That's all you can do. You can't actively engage in conversation. It's always got to be this kind of reactive stuff.
Don't need it anymore, is what Hank is claiming here. Vestigial.
And no, vestigial means it has a reduced or differing function from what it originally was. It is a vestige left over from a previous form of itself or otherwise purpose, what have you. Words have meanings, Kent. Those meanings matter.
Body part or organ remaining in a form that is small or imperfectly developed and not able to function, being or having the form of a vestige. Kiwis lack an external tail, and their vestigial wings are entirely hidden beneath their curious plumage. Okay. Are there vestigial organs that are evidence for evolution? Hank is going to claim there are. He's going to show several of them here. Vestigial. You don't need it anymore.
I mean, effectively, every one of them would be evidence for this because they wouldn't make sense in anything that is specifically engineered. You wouldn't leave parts on. You wouldn't add on parts that are effectively useless for what they obviously are supposed to be.
Mark or trace, visible sign left by someone, something like an ancient city. Okay. A body part that is small and degenerate or imperfectly developed. Okay. Vestigial structures, sometimes called vestigia. Rudiment Latin. Latin is a dead language. Killed the Romans, now it's killing us. Yeah. They are non-functional features, fully developed and functioning in earlier species, but serve little or no purpose today.
It's funny, Kent, saying that, given that the evolution of Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, and Romanian from Latin, various Latin dialects, is a perfect analog for biological evolution.
Part of this evolution. I see. Okay. For instance, the nictitating membrane, the plica summilunaris, is that vestigial? The frog have a nictitating membrane. We're going to talk about those in a minute. Let me let Hank talk for a minute and see what he says about vestigial structures. Take it away, Hank. Let's see right here.
The appendix, along with some other completely useless things in your body, like wisdom teeth and your tailbone, well, they did not escape the notice of one Mr. Charles Darwin.
And tailbone. You hear what he said? Appendix, wisdom teeth, tailbone. You think they're vestigial? Hey, what, Hank?
Uh-oh. Are you gonna pay to have somebody's coccyx removed?
If you think the tailbone is vestigial, you don't need it anymore, I will pay to have yours removed.
And there's Joseph with the
You may have heard of him. So Darwin wrote this book. It was kind of important, called On the Origin of Species. And in that book, he said that these things were vestiges of bygone eras. Times when the ancestors of humans somewhere down the line had a use for a tail or some extra teeth for chewing meat or an organ to process a bunch of plant cellulose. Now, Darwin here was not the first person to notice that humans, as well as some other animals, are tricked out with various equipment that they don't need. Darwin suggested that animals evolve within a certain set of circumstances, and they develop body parts based on those circumstances. But when those...
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't notice that, Kent Hovind is filling his little stupid mug up from a container that he could just drink from directly.
circumstances go away, those body parts, they fall into disuse. But physical evidence will remain. And the amazing thing is that he was totally right. They're called vestigial structures, organs, so we say structures. And they're basically one of the many things about our bodies that leads us to believe that we evolved from other species. Here are some other examples.
Okay, before we go into all the examples, let's take...
Are you going to answer why your captions are in Estonian? Because I seriously cannot stop looking at that and laughing. Why are captions in Estonian turned on, Kent? I should fucking call you and ask you that.
What he's got so far on the table here. Let's see. Right there. I got to get this thing figured out, Joseph. Got me all bumfuzzled here.
I've been using this computer for like 10 years and I still don't have a fucking clue how to do this stuff because I'm a fucking dumbass.
First of all, Hank, I want you to stop and think for just a minute. If there were vestigial structures, we're losing something, not gaining something. How's that help your evolution religion?
Not a religion, and as has been explained to you numerous times, Kent, losing or gaining are irrelevant concepts to the simple fact that things change. That's all evolution is. At its most simple concept. In the same way you wish to try to oversimplify and try to treat it like it's something getting better or not worse. It's no, things just change. Life branches out. It's just how it works.
You think we used to have this, but we don't need it anymore. First place, you're wrong on all of them, okay? But
you're wrong because I say so.
Let's see, comments on comments. No, I won't.
Thank you, Tubian. That is exactly what I thought. I think he's just outright lying, because I figured DAL may have started in the early to mid 90s at best. But I know it really started to properly exist as a thing he pushed out in the early 2000s. So I just figured that was when they really got into big media on it. Yeah, sure as hell not 1980. 2001, that makes a lot more sense. So he probably means we've been running it for 20 some years, even though at most it'd be 24, 25. But even at that rate, he'd be wrong given, again, that the Pensacola one completely ceased to exist. But what do we expect from Hovind?
Yeah, right here. Okay. Sorry about that. This is the joys of live shows.
I could just pre-record all these things and have a small team edit them, but I can't find people who believe this kind of garbage who are skilled enough to do that kind of complicated work. And if I do find people who got their skills, I'm sure as hell not going to pay them because I'm Ken Hovind. I ain't going to fucking pay anybody. That's how the feds got me last time.
Oh, is it? I got to move that back and forth. Maybe I need two screens, Joseph.
Okay.
I don't know.
You know, given that you're looking at another screen all the time, and that seems to be the one we see displayed over on the side, you are working with two screens, you fucking moron.
I'm confused enough with just one here. One moment. I see. Okay, let's shut this one down.
Remember, kids, this is a professional. This is an expert that you go to for everything. This man knows everything. He taught every single thing possible for 15 fucking years. How to mine for fucking molybdenum? Ken Hovind taught it. How to develop enriched uranium? Hovind taught it. How to perform surgery on the battlefield on yourself? Hovind taught it. How to cook a good steamed ham? Hovind taught it. How to get away with not paying your taxes? Hovind bought it. Or Hovind taught it. How to hide the Epstein files? Hovind taught it.
I won't shut it down. Aha, now. Okay, there. Vestigial structures. Okay. The appendix is vestigial. Hank thinks you don't need it anymore, okay? It's true, the appendix.
That is not what vestigial means. He even explained the actual definition at the beginning. And you just continue running with your crap, Kent. That's all you ever do. That's all you ever do. That's why trying to have a discussion with you on anything is pointless. Because you don't engage with the actual conversation. You engage with the conversation you want to have that's in your script.
Appendix in humans is much smaller than it is in other animals. Maybe it's because of our diet. We don't need to get rid of all the roughage. Horses go around eating off the ground.
Yeah. You're not wrong there, Kent, as a possibility. But the fact that it atrophied the way it did would indicate that it was once something more. But we don't need it anymore. So why would we have had it then and not now? And if it's not needed as much anymore and it's diminished in its functionality, my God, Kent, it's vestigial.
Probably get a lot of stuff. This is one of the lies in the textbooks. There are no vestigial structures. Okay, anatomy and development. There are no vestigial structures. Even if it were true, that would be the opposite of evolution. That's losing, not gaining. The human vermiform appendix is apparently vestigial. It's difficult to understand vestigial structures such as these as anything other than evolutionary relics, holdovers from the past. That's the only way you can understand it? How about, well, a couple options here. I'll come in a minute. In 1925, evolutionary zoologist Horatio Newman said there are, according to Wiederman, no less than 180 vestigial structures. You don't need it anymore. Sufficient to make of a man a veritable walking museum of antiquities. That's not a fly, Joseph. That's a wasp. Yeah, he needs to go to heaven too, doesn't he? I'll send him if he comes by again. Okay. Ask a scientist, University of Chicago. Ooh-wee.
Oh, if only it would just sting, Kent. That'd just be so fucking funny.
is the function of the appendix in human before it's taken out through surgery? Surgery. I think they want surgery, but that's okay. Nancy. As you must know, the appendix is a tube at the end, one end closed that opens into the cecum, which is the beginning of the large intestine. The appendix has no known physiological function. It doesn't do anything. Well, whoever's a scientist at the University of Chicago ought to be fired. They don't know what the appendix does. It probably represents a degenerated portion of the cecum that in ancestral form.
Well, now, Kent will say against that argument, you can have an arm cut off and live, you know, so that doesn't determine if something vestigial or not. But, you know, it's still a matter of him not getting the fact that obviously the structure was once of more importance, in a sense effectively atrophied or is otherwise a leftover from something that is no longer relevant to the way the organism lives, the current specimens thereof.
Aid in cellulose digestion. It's believed the appendix will gradually disappear in human beings as our diet do not include cellulose no more. University of Chicago. Okay. We can obviously live without it. Well, hold it. The fact that you can live without it does not mean it has no function.
See, there we go, right there. I knew it'd come up eventually.
You can live without both your legs, both your arms, both your eyes, and both your ears. It doesn't mean you don't need them, okay?
Apparently you can live without your brain because people like that are who we're looking at right now, as well as those running the goddamn country. But what do I know? I'm just some libtard.
Okay. The human appendix has been proposed to be a vestigial structure, a structure that has lost all or most of its original function and has evolved to take on a new function. The suggestion that it is the shrunken remnant of the cecum thought to have been present in remote ancestors of humans. Here's the vestigial structures. Example, your appendix. Once upon a time, about time they started their story like that. All of evolution stories ought to start like that. Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, some cosmic immortal entity was just jerking off and decided, you know what? I'm just going to make this thing called the universe and just farted into existence. Took some dirt and made some person, ripped out a rib, made some woman, and told them, hey, get busy fucking. And then told them, hey, don't go to the spot or I'll be really mad at you. And then they fucking did it anyway because he didn't give them any kind of intuition on good or bad or anything of that, which they learned from going to this place and consuming some random ass fruit off some stupid tree that the deity fucking put there to begin with. And he's like, oh no, you fucking did the thing I didn't do. So fuck you, get the hell out of all the happy land. And then a whole bunch of other bullshit. It's a really terrible read, but it starts with Once Upon a Time as well, Kent.
Yeah, it's a fairy tale, folks, okay? Long regarded as
the Bible sure is.
Vestigial, the appendix is now thought to be one of the sites where immune responses are initiated. They learned, nearly 30 years ago, you do need your appendix as part of your immune system.
No, it's not necessary, Kent. If that was the case, by your logic, what you're implying here, those who have their appendixes removed because of inflammation would no longer have a functioning immune system. Kent, removing your appendix does not give you AIDS.
Its removal increases a person's susceptibility to leukemia, Hodgkin's disease, cancer of the colon, and cancer of the ovaries. Why do we have an appendix? The entire digestive tract helps with our immune system. But sometimes scientists and doctors think the appendix may be a place for our body to store certain healthy types of gut bacteria that otherwise could be altered or changed during an intestinal illness, an overuse of antibiotics. Maybe there's a use for it. Let's see. What's the function of the appendix? 1999, Scientific American. Let's see. For years, the appendix was credited with very little physiological function. We now know, however, Hank, that the appendix serves an important role in the fetus and young adults. Endocrine cells appear in the appendix of the human fetus at around the 11th week of development. These endocrine cells of the fetal appendix have been shown to produce various biogenic amines and peptide hormones, compounds that assist with various biological control. There have been little prior evidence of this or any other role of the appendix in animals research because the appendix does not exist in domestic animals. Among adult humans, the appendix is now thought to be involved primarily in immune functions.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean it's critical for them. None of that entails an absolute criticality for those functions, Kent. So, you're not saying what you think you're saying here, buddy.
During the early years of development, the appendix has been shown to function as a lymphoid organ, assisting with the maturation B lymphocytes. Let's see. You can read off for yourself, folks. It has a function, all right? Appendix has a function. Now, Hank, you're claiming the appendix is vestigial. You don't need it anymore. You do. Now, if you take it out, you can still live, but you'll be more susceptible
Which means you don't need it, Kent.
to quite a few diseases. Just read up on the appendix. They found all kinds of uses for it. The appendix is not a vestigial organ.
It's not uses for it, Kent. It would be functions that it serves. But again, those are clearly not critical. And it's certainly not what it originally did to any meaningful degree. Thus meaning it is vestigial. One could argue you could start calling it something different, just reassign it a completely new name. If that might not actually be what's already happened, I'm not even sure. I don't care enough about the appendix. You're arguing over semantics here, when the idea is simply that it's not what it once was. That's kind of it. You are a vestige from the early internet and late VHS era of evangelical bullshit. You're not what you used to be, Kent.
That is evidence for evolution. It's evidence of amazing design. Okay. Then he's going to
Yes, amazing design, an organ that does, or a gland, a component that you don't need, that runs a high chance of getting outright infected to a point of being life-threatening, has a few things it kind of does, but they aren't at all what it used to do, as we see in other existing and extinct creatures. Yeah, sure, Kent, sure. Amazing design, my ass.
talk about the nictitating membrane. Talk about that here. Hank, go ahead. Let's see. I think that's next. I forget.
Of cool vestigial structures that we have. Goosebumps. Goosebumps are a reflex rather than an organ, but they are considered to be vestigial in humans. The pilomotor reflex is this.
Wait a minute. Goosebumps are vestigial. You don't need it anymore. That little round muscle around each hair, it tightens up and makes the hair stand up and traps air against your body to keep you warm.
You don't need it anymore. Note the word need. As compared to what it once was and the role it once served. Hence, it is a vestige of that role, that function, that purpose.
Need that anymore. Okay, keep talking, Hank.
Good fucking God, he just doesn't get it. For a guy who was supposed to have taught English for 15 years, I would expect him to care more about grammar and word choices than this.
That happens when a bird or mammal gets cold and wants to warm up, or when it sees a predator and it wants to warn that predator to step off. There's this tiny little muscle at the base of every single hair follicle that will contract and pull the hair erect. Just because I said erect, that's not funny. And for a bird or a dog, that might help it get all puffy and look bigger to a predator, hold on to more air so it can stay warm. The tailbone. Our tail.
Take the goosebumps. Okay, let's see.
Kent, look at a human. Look at Homo sapiens and see how thick the hair on us actually is. It's pretty thin. All of those things activating isn't going to do very much. That's why I'm usually pretty cold when I step out of the shower. You have to make sure heat air is not on when I go to the shower. Otherwise, I'm going to come out with that vent blowing on me. Hair ain't going to magically puff up. I'm going to be fucking cold, man. We aren't bears. We aren't dogs. We aren't cats. We're not cows. We're not anything of the sort. We're apes. A very particular branch of apes. Hair is diminished like a motherfucker. Here's a question for you, Kent. Why is it that only mammals have hair? Why don't other animals have hair that aren't mammals? Can you explain that one to me?
Debates. Nictitating membrane. Goosebumps. I don't have them quite in the same order. It's been a busy day. Let's see. Appendix. Oh, here we go. Slide number 2772.
I want to say this like I'm really, really surprised. I want you to be surprised at what I mean to say.
Since at the beginning.
Yeah. Erector pili muscles are not vestigial organs, Hank, that are evidence for evolution. They're evidence of an amazing design. Oh, yeah. There they are right here. I got to go backwards on this one. Oh, two claws. I got stuff for all this stuff in my slides. Okay. Two claws.
See, little stuff like that. Everything is a shrine to Hovind. That's it. That's all he cares about is himself.
Vestigial structures. Useless, but now useless. The useless little erector muscles around each hair. These muscles fluff the hair and conserve heat. In humans, they primarily produce goosebumps. Above each ear, we have these. Oh, that's a different one. Okay. So there's a little tiny muscle that tightens up, the erector pili muscle. And you really.
You keep saying erector, but earlier had it spelled erector. You seem to really be focused on the idea of erection.
I think that evolved by chance. We don't need it anymore. First place, how did we get it to begin with? I mean, you guys really better give an answer for how did something so complex, how does it, the temperature sensing part of your body sends messages to these little muscles, tighten up, stand the hair up. Oh. Erector pili muscle, known as the hair erector muscle, is a small band of smooth muscle tissue that connects the hair follicle to the dermis, which would be the skin, the layer of skin beneath the epidermis. This muscle plays a crucial role in various physiological processes, including thermal regulation to keep your body heat the same. How many of you have ever been cold and you noticed all your hair start to stand up on your body?
Yeah, that's an evolutionary vestige. Notice that it doesn't work. You still need a jacket. Why is that, Kent? Why?
Yeah. Hair growth and skin development. Contraction of the erector pili muscle causes the hair to stand on end, trapping air between the hair and the skin, which helps to retain heat. This is known.
Doesn't do much of a good job on humans. I mean, for someone who's super hairy, maybe, but my level, not so good.
As the pileo-erector goosebumps, okay? Hair growth. The erector pili muscle helps to stabilize the base of the hair follicle, which is essential for hair growth. Skin development. The erector pili muscle is involved in the development and maintenance of the, I forgot what that one is, sebaceous, pileo-sebaceous unit, which includes the hair follicle, sebaceous gland, and apocrine gland. So there we go. There's the sweat gland. So
wow, it's almost as if all these structures develop together and they're kind of intermingled, but some of the functionality isn't what it used to be, given the diminished nature of hairs on Homo sapien.
You think erector pili muscle is evidence for evolution, Hank? It's an amazing design. Now, we may not need as much as animals need because we're smart enough to make clothes. Could that be it, Hank? Maybe the dogs need more because they.
Maybe we started making the clothes because of the diminished trait. See, a thing about us, Kent, is we sweat, and so the water needs to evaporate. We sweat over our whole bodies. So we can't have the hair trapping the sweat, otherwise we can't release heat. The reason we need to release heat from all over at the rates we do, humans burn a lot of energy doing a little thing called walking. Everyone forgets this, but Homo sapiens' greatest adaptation isn't even our intelligence. I mean, that's fucking awesome. But it's our endurance. We will, given the need, we can just fucking go. We can outlast anything. You got to herd a gazelle, they're going to run from you. They're eventually going to get tired. You're going to catch up with them. It's just a waiting game for them to tire out before the Homo sapien does. But that's a full body activity, so we've got to release a lot of heat. So as that developed in our ancestors, body hair began to diminish. Then, as we started migrating around, 50,000 years ago or so, 100,000 range, kind of sort of realized some areas were way too fucking cold, like Europe. And we learned, hey, we can just wear the furs of other animals, wear their skin, and that'll keep us warm. So we found a healthy balance where we put on additional clothing when we need to be warm, and if we're hot, we take clothing off. And there we go. So us and clothing allowed us to expand across the planet as we did. As we made up for an evolutionary quirk that worked well for us in North Africa, in the savannah and the Sahel and the plains, but would not quite have worked so well in other spots on the planet. And that's where our intelligence, the nature of being tool-making creatures, legacy from ape ancestors, came into play. That is pretty fucking awesome.
Make their hair stand up and look bigger or something. We don't need as much hair because we were designed smarter. We can make clothes and live in houses. Yeah.
Yeah, so we need external things to survive. That's real smart design there, dumbass.
It goes on with one more here. Hey, the tailbone.
Tailbone, or the coccyx, is this little vestige of a tail, because our ancestors used to have tails, and I'm sure Stan won't mind if we show off his butt here. And there you have a little tail. Can you get a zoom in on it? Zoom in on it. Yeah. See a little butt tail there? Got a little tail. And so do you. That was excellent work. You're a really good actor. We see tailbones in all great apes, and we even see them in the fossilized remains of our ancestors.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. Am I the only person who wants one of those anatomical skeleton models? And I've wanted one like my whole life. Like not just, your usual Halloween skeleton, but one of the proper ones. I want one. Ooh, you know what they could do? Okay, hear me out. This would be creepy, but we've got 3D printing.
Way back to
God damn it. We've got 3D printing technology and we've got like body scan equipment, right? They do x-rays and a scan of your body and actually 3D print your actual bones. Well, not your actual bones, but your skeleton exactly as they are. That'd be so fucking weird. It's like, dude, cool skeleton. It's like, yeah, it's mine. What? Yeah. We could totally do that. Oh, man. Dude, if I had money to invest in something stupid, I'd do that. See, if I was like Elon Musk rich, I'd just be investing in so many stupid ass projects and not even trying to lie and be like, I'm trying to save the world. No. Just here's something cool I wanted to do. You want a skeleton of yourself? It'll probably be about $1,000 because just the tech, but we're working on getting it lower so everyone can have a replica of their own skeleton. That'd be fucking cool.
the Miocene periods when our ancestors were first trying to grab onto things with their newly opposable thumbs. So now all we have is this tiny, itty-bitty stuff of a tail, but it is not totally useless. That little...
Joseph, I wish people could get a glimpse of how dangerous this evolution teaching is. How many museums and science teachers around the world are doing what Hank is doing, pushing the evolution religion? Thousands and thousands and thousands of them. How many are saving kids from this propaganda? There's a few.
You have expressed in no way, shape, or form in this little mini monologue here, Kent, how or why this is dangerous. You're just saying it is out of the blue.
100 creation ministries in America. There need to be 50 in every state. We've tried to make our Dinosaur Adventureland here real simple, where anybody can start one in your backyard. Okay, start one in your house. Have a portable creation museum. Get a trailer, pull it around with a big sign, free fossils or something. Do something. There's a war going on.
No, there isn't, dumbass. At least not the war you think there is.
If you can't shoot, carry bullets, pay for the bullets, find something to do. Man, it frustrates me. The Christians don't, I don't know, what can I do? Look at, Luke wants to start a creation ministry, has very short arms. Well, hey, I'll pretend I'm a T-Rex then. Great, good job. Fine, you can all do something. Some of you could serve as professional bad examples. You don't need any more of those. Let's talk about the tailbone, then we'll take a bunch of questions here, okay? And you atheists, where are you? Let's see. Erector pillar.
I don't know. Did Joseph post the goddamned link? Let's find out. Did he post the fucking link? Or did the dumbass not do it again? Because, you know, since we're on YouTube after all, and he posts everything through Restream, the link should be here. Let's let the video play a bit. I think that forces it to load.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Comments from other people. Questions from TikTok. Let's see. Kent selling stuff. Oh, there's the Restream link. Okay. Okay, so he did post it eventually, so there's that.
Tailbone. Tailbone. Appendix. Nictitating membrane. That's slide 2791. Try to remember that. Okay.
I try to remember it.
I forgot more things than I can remember. Is the tailbone evidence for evolution? I think it's right here. Tailbone. Yeah, there we go. No, over here. Tailbone. Humans have a tailbone at the end of the spine that is of no apparent use. Hank, you must have studied at that school. You're way behind on your science, okay? The vestigial tailbone in human is homologous to the functional tail of other primates. Thus, vestigial structures can be viewed as evidence.
I seriously wonder how many Silent Generation and Greatest Generation parents just absolutely hate their fucking boomer-ass kids. They absolutely fucking had to. Because so many of these people are such fucking douchebags.
For common ancestry. The coccyx, that's the name for the tailbone, is a small bone at the end of the human vertebral column. It has no present function and is thought to be the remainder of bones that once occupied the long tail of a tree-living ancestor. Crybaby. I want to see Crybaby's tailbone removed. Remember when he called in and said there's evidence for evolution of the tailbone? My offer still good. Tell you what, Crybaby, I will even sterilize and sharpen my Swiss Army knife to take it out, okay?
Your ass couldn't sharpen anything, Kent.
What do you think, Joseph? He'd be a crybaby then, wouldn't he?
Yes.
Well, the tailbone, okay, is right there. There are 9 little muscles that attach to the tailbone. It's a very complex system of nerves and muscles that attach to the tailbone. Keep going on. Thank you, Danny. Very complex system of muscles that attach to the tailbone, right there. The coccyx serves as an anchor site, attachment site for tendons, ligaments, and muscles. It functions as an insertion point in some of the muscles of the pelvic floor.
The Masters No Mistress popping in. Lots of the Greatest Generation were worse. Yeah, I haven't necessarily experienced too many of them, so I have to defer to those who are even just a little bit older than me and have had experiences. At least I was being optimistic. You know, I figured the douchebag chain started right around that post-war generation from being so fucking spoiled. You know, while there was still definitely some racism and other bullshit, I wouldn't expect people to grow up into depression to be this just abhorrent for the most part. But again, that's probably my naive optimism. That's a failure of mine. I always have some little level of optimism with things. At least until it's beaten out of me, metaphorically speaking, of course.
The coccyx also functions to support and stabilize a person while he or she is in the sitting position. You also need that if you're going to make babies, okay? That's all this.
Oh, of course, Joe. Yeah, he would definitely ignore you on that. Because Hovind can't be wrong. So if he says Simon Dan has an art degree, then Simon Dan has an art degree.
Left of the tail that most mammals still use. They're still teaching it. Discover Magazine. It's been proven years ago that the tailbone has got a use, okay? Humans have a tailbone that's of no use. This is pure prop.
The use, quote unquote, again, Kent, is irrelevant. Why is it there? Why is it structured the way it is? Why is it so fragile? Why? Just why? That's the question. The answer is that it is the atrophied remains of the tail that our ancestors would have had.
Propaganda. Gray's Anatomy gives all kinds of sites. attachment of muscles to 4 pairs on one single muscle and one single muscle on either side. Coxygenesis names all the muscles. Get your Gray's Anatomy. Mine's over here on the shelf, okay? If you think the tailbone is vestigial, I will pay to have yours removed.
Christ, that fucking picture is so goddamn disturbing. The fact they actually, had his goober animated shit back in the 90s draw this crap. Ugh.
Bend over. At the end of your backbone is a coccyx, a few small bones that are fused together. Could the human coccyx be a vestigial structure, or is it a newly evolving structure? They give 2 choices, neither of which is correct. It's fine as is. Leave it alone. False dichotomy. They give 2 choices that don't matter. If I said, are elephants orange or elephants green? How are you supposed to answer that question? Is the coccyx, is it a vestigial structure or newly evolving? It's neither one. It's fine. Just leave it alone. Human vestigial organs, the coccyx.
Yeah, that's why it's so fragile and in such a vulnerable spot. And hey, Kent, when you bring up the coccyx, I have to mention that some of those muscles that you talk about connecting there, I can kind of move those. And it feels like there should be more going on back there, as if it should continue like a tail. I know that sounds weird, but apparently this isn't that uncommon of a thing. People feeling that. It's fucking weird, man. It's not like anything's moving back there. This was leftover muscle tissue doing its thing. Why is it there? What is it trying to move? Why is there this little fragile bone calcification there that hurts like a motherfucker if you break it?
Okay? Vestigial structures. No longer useful parts. Humans have all kinds of stuff you don't need anymore. The coccyx, the tailbone. This is just propaganda. They're so desperate for evidence. Now, keep in mind, even if it was, that's going backwards, guys. Quadrillion.
Which, once again, completely irrelevant to the concept of evolution. It is simply a matter of change, and us not hail provides many benefits. Hence why Great Apes branch had diminished to non-existent tails.
Of exact things evolving, getting better, losing something. This is totally backwards to what you need. And even then, you're lying about it. Okay? Okay, we can spend all day just on the coccyx if you want, but 3 to 5.
And that's a good point. Outliers that do have a small tail that needs to be amputated. It's usually just at that point a fleshy sort of nub, but it's still the continuation of everything. It's pretty fucking wild.
5 bones and 9 muscles that attach are used to support the complex muscle system of the pelvic perineal floor. They're supporting defecation. Figure that out, okay? You do need your appendix. I mean, your tailbone. Okay. Okay. There's one more. He talks about the. It's going to take me a minute to find this one. What did I say? It was 2,700 something. There. Because I'm going to waste all my time on this one here. Coming up. I see it. He says the nictitating membrane, 2791. Okay. Let me get there. 2791. There you go. All right, let's let Hank talk about this. More vestigial vestigial structures. What language is that at the bottom there? Is that Polish or? Anybody know what that language is? This is on his site,
No, it's not, Kent. That's a YouTube caption that you yourself turned on, you fuckwit. And again, it's Estonian.
Anyway.
Bone
See the little box right there? That's closed captions. That's you turned them on, Kent. You fucking moron.
is now the anchor to which all of the muscles that help us control our continence, if you know what I mean, are stuck to. So thanks, Tailbone. That is an important job, and I appreciate it. And our
Which would probably be part of the reason why it didn't atrophy further. Since that structure being there, what remains of it is enough to handle some of those adaptive purposes. Also, I just double checked, and yeah, the whole feeling like I could move a tail if one was there, or otherwise send the signal, what have you, is apparently a pretty common thing. I just double checked. So, woohoo, I'm not crazy.
final vestigial structure, the wisdom teeth. We humans have become such delicate flowers that our mouths no longer have room for all the teeth we need in order to eat all of that woolly mammoth meat that we don't eat anymore. So now that people are all agricultural and omnivorous, and we generally tend to cook our food well.
So his argument is, he's going to go on for a few minutes about this. We don't need our wisdom teeth anymore. Okay. And that's proof that we used to have a tougher diet and be like, chimpanzees or gorillas or, caveman eating mammoth meat. Hank, there's another option. What if everybody in the pre-flood world was much bigger, 10 feet? The wisdom teeth generally come in about the same time you would need it. As your jaw grows, the last tooth comes in. How many of you have had kids that the teeth came in and then they lost their early set of teeth and another second set came in? Have you seen that happen, kids, before? Yeah. What if the wisdom tooth is designed to come in when you're, say, 15, 16, 18 years old?
That is a good point. Problem among World War II veterans had a major impact. Untreated PTSD that got projected onto young boomers, turning them into little monster mini-me's. Might explain Hovind.
To fill the jaw that's now expanding. Wow. Is there any room in your brain, Hank, to think maybe it was designed to be that way?
And Nimrod tells me Gutsick just did a great video about a find that fills in the gap and removes the missing link from the evolution HCGs. I guess that's maybe that skull they had found recently, like in China or what have you, and helps be a bit of an indicator on stuff. I'll have to check into that. And if Gutsick Gibbon just uploaded a video, it should have showed up in my subscription. So I'll go double check, because that's something I definitely need in my life today.
Way. Now, the fact that some of them get impacted, a lot of people have to have them out. I had to have mine taken out. That's not proof of evolution. That's proof that maybe everybody was bigger before all this started, before this mess started.
So you're saying even in your view, we would have adapted to the new world. We would have changed. There would have been a progression, an evolution, if you will, in Homo sapien pre-flood, post-flood. Is that what you're saying, Kent?
Maybe we're designed to have it come in at the right time. There have been people who've had a third set of teeth come in. Maybe we're designed for your teeth to wear out in 50, 60, 70 years and fall out, and you get a third set and a fourth set.
No, because your adult teeth are all there when you're born. You have two sets of teeth when you're a kid. Look at kids' skulls, x-rays and the like. That's fucking nightmarish. You don't want to see that shit. All right. We only have the two sets, the child teeth and the adult teeth. That's it. That's all you get. Unless you want to pay for expensive dental surgery, dental surgery, and get yourself a third artificial set.
Maybe you got a new set every 70 years. That'd be cool. Yeah. Save the dental bill. Yeah, like mine yesterday, $400. Okay. Nictitating membrane. Let's keep talking here.
Nimrod mentions they had 6 wisdom teeth. 2 had fused together, and it was super painful. And as far as the discovery Erica talks about, it was a few days ago, and it was a foot. Okay. Found an almost complete foot. Neat.
Our jaws are now too small to accommodate all of the teeth that grow into them, and that results in modern humans frequently getting impacted wisdom teeth. I actually have one of mine left, because they took out 3 and they couldn't get one. They left the hole, but also the tooth was still there. So I'm worried about this happening to me. But 35% of people born today do not have wisdom teeth at all. So we're actually
lucky bastards
on an evolutionary trajectory to get rid of them completely, which I'm totally in favor of. Of course, people with wisdom teeth would have to die and not breed in order.
Quite a few people with wisdom teeth have no trouble with them. They fill in the jaw. So don't. And what's what he said? This is Hitler's thinking. These people that still have wisdom teeth would have to die to make this take over the population so they don't make babies. Yeah, these Jews that are inferior species, Hitler would say, we got to kill them so the superior.
Yeah, YouTube's eating links right now for non-mods, and I can't make everybody a mod. I mean, I probably need to go through and update that, but yeah. Sorry about that.
Aryan race can take over. This is the thinking that
Oh, and there you go, Godwin's Law. None of this has anything to do with concepts of superiority. And unless you find someone who's just an outright fucking nut job who also happens to be a scientist, you're not going to find scientists, biologists, biologists, and scientists, anyone involved in any of these things who says or believes anything even remotely like Dolphy Boy or anything else of the sort. The racists you find are all religious zealots, bigoted monsters on the political right. You don't find it in the scientists, Kent. You just don't.
Evolution brings. Everything else that's not up to par with us has to die. Yeah. Hank didn't say that, but I'm saying that's where that thinking leads.
No, it's not. And the fact you're so obsessed with it tells me that that's where your mind wants to go on everything, but you can't say that part out loud.
To not pass on that gene, and I failed at that, sorry. And actually, one more, to end things on a slightly creepier note. You know this membrane that kind of just hangs out in the corner of your eye? Well, that is probably a vestige of something called a nictating membrane, which birds still have to this day, and is in fact a third and fourth eyelid. Thanks for watching SciShow.
No, I did watch your SciShow, Dan. Okay, let's talk about this nictating membrane.
He called him Dan. Y'all hear that?
No, I did watch your SciShow, Dan. Okay, let's talk about this
I did watch your show, Dan.
nictating membrane. It's not a vestigial organ, Hank. It's evidence for evolution. It is evidence of an amazing designer, okay? Birds have this. They can close it over their eye. We can't close ours, okay? How many of you had to rub your eyes in the morning, get junk out of there? Because that nictating membrane collects all the dust that got on your eyes. Collects it, puts it in a little puddle, and it's easy to, rub right out. Anybody ever rubbed their eyes like that before to get stuff out of there? Okay. Let's see, nictating membrane.
And you ever notice it's always that anybody else ever have to for stuff that people obviously do? How about just bring up, when you've got to wipe all the crud out of your eye when you wake up? Yeah, that's what that thing's doing. He could do it like that, but he doesn't. It's that way of getting people more involved. It's like, yeah, I'm special. I'm part of the community. It's like, what the fuck, Kent?
Sometimes called the plica semilunaris, okay? It's at the corner of the eye, and some animals, like birds, can actually close it all the way across their eye. We can't. Oh, okay. Nictating membrane serves multiple functions across various animal species. Primary role is protecting the cornea and from environmental hazards like dust and debris and water while maintaining vision. Birds of prey, it protects the eye from their chicks during feeding and is used during high-speed dives. The falcon goes really fast, and so he wants to be able to see where he's going, but not have the wind rip his eyeball apart, okay? They perform peregrine falcons to clear debris and spread moisture across the eye. Woodpeckers activate the membrane milliseconds before their beak strikes a tree to prevent the retinal injury from shock. The woodpecker pecks on the wood, backs up, opens his eyes, focuses, decides which way to peck, and closes the eyes when he hits. Dozens of times per second. And if they didn't, the eyeball would pop out of the head from all that impact of smacking into the wood. You'd almost think the woodpecker was designed if you didn't know better.
Or you could look at its traits and its obvious heritage through the fossil record and see how it developed its specialities, i.e. its evolution.
Beavers and manatees have them so they can swim underwater, like having goggles on. Membrane helps the cornea keep it moist, distributing the precorneal tear film, which is essential for eye health.
I don't go swimming often, but when I was down in Texas in 2008, there's a pool at the apartment complex my friend would move to. He's helping him move. And one of the things I challenged myself to do, and successfully did while I was there, was finally get comfortable with the idea of opening my eyes underwater. It is a weird feeling, but once you do it, it's kind of cool.
It's also called the plica semilunaris, a small fold of bulbar conjunctiva on the medial canthus of the eye. It functions during movement of the eye to help maintain tear drainage and via the lacrimal lake, and to permit greater rotation of the globe.
God, look at how he stumbles over all this. Again, I say this like it's not like these are easy words. They're not. But you'd think an expert could, really discuss these things better, would pronounce these things more clearly, would be prepared for this stuff.
South Duplica.
But it looks like he obviously is doing this one pretty off the cuff as something to just ramble on about until people decide to call in.
The conserva would attach. It goes on, talks about it in this. I forgot where I got that article from. It was busy today. Anyway, so I'm sorry, Hank, you're wrong.
It was always busy. It's always busy today. It's always busy every day. Hovind's always busy.
All counts.
Always busy promoting more Hovind.
There are no vestigial
Kent Hovind is God.
structures. If there were, that would be the opposite of what you need. So I will debate you anytime, Hank, anytime. Please call. You're in Montana someplace. I'm not going to go out there. We can set it up by Skype. Joseph, book them. 855 Big Dino Exchange.
Skype is a dead service, you fucking moron.
4. Any questions or comments real quick before we quit here?
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on contemporary worship versus hymns? That's a matter of style. You know, some people like the dancing around. I'm not against it. I was in the Mennonite church for a while as a kid, you know, and they do some of that, marching around the church and singing hymns. I like that. I like gospel music. I like quartet music. I get a lot of requests, so I don't sing usually because I get so many requests.
Translation, Kent doesn't like any good music.
Please do. People want me to sing on a hill far away all the time. I don't know. I'm not sure what they mean by that, Joseph. Hurts my feelings, though. Let me get Hank back over here. Put me back up there, brother. I got to drag Hank. No, got to shrink it. If I don't, you guys don't understand. It causes lots of trouble when I get back to my room because now Hank's off the screen and I don't have another screen to drag him from. There we go. Now I can shut him down. Yay. Okay. Okay, other question. Oh, why were the feast, Sabbath, and dietary commands nailed to the cross but not tithing? Good question. Don't know. The ministry still has to have support. Most of that stuff was ceremonial, to prepare for Christ's coming and to teach about, the things about the crucifixion and the
AEC Radio 1 suggests that Kent look into the pileated woodpecker, see how its head is created to defend from impact. Doubt he ever saw that large a bird in the wild. I'll have to check that out.
Jesus ministry. But tithing, the church, those are going full-time in mission work or pastoral work still need supported. If your pastor has to work a 40-hour-a-week job, he's not going to have much time to prepare and do counseling and help people, in trouble. Some take advantage of that and get lazy.
Like Hovind. Look, he's having a moment of self-reflection.
You guys know me here? Is that me? Okay. I think I outwork anybody here, including preparing 6 messages a week. Okay. So I try hard. All right. Let's see. Thanks.
And you fail miserably, Kent.
For my work, I teach 5th grade at a Christian school in New Mexico. I teach Genesis, Exodus every year. Your teachings are a fantastic resource to share with my students. So few sources teaching truth out there. God bless you. Joseph, that one you played last night while I was came back from the doctor, that wasn't the Making Babies series. That was Creation That Destroys Evolution, wasn't it?
Yes.
I did that several years ago. There is a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
And you can get the whole thing for $100. There we go. By the way, I would encourage you to get DVDs. People say, that's old school. Yes, that's what they want you to think. Because who's controlling that internet now? If you'd rather watch things online, that's fine. But what if they decide they don't want you to watch things online anymore? If you had it in DVD, you could watch it whenever you feel like it.
What if they decide you just don't have electricity anymore? How does that work, Kent? It doesn't fucking work, you dumbass.
And right now, they know what you're watching, don't they?
Remember, Schrodinger's they, and yes, they are monitoring every single bit of TCP/IP traffic across the entire goddamned internet.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's 7 cameras in the phone?
Some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah. Like 5 is, I think the newest iPhone has 5 or 6.
Newest iPhone, 5 or 6?
Yeah.
So while you're watching it, it's watching you.
Did I hit the mute yet? Hey, Kent, there's ways to actually monitor what devices are doing, and while, backdoors exist and the like, nothing is likely as compromised as you think it is. I'm all for being a little concerned with government overreach and the like, but it's weird that you, like so many other Christo-fascists, wish to support the very kind of tyrannical government you cry out against, and also that you think this mysterious they have these kinds of resources to do all the things they do, and yet couldn't just make you disappear forever. that they could only put you in jail for shy of 10 years, and the DVD they put you in for, you're still selling. It's like, none of it makes any sense, dude.
Your eye movement where you're looking.
And trust me, you aren't fucking important enough to monitor like that. No one at DAL is, aside from, tech stuff. It may be something if there's someone doing a deeper investigation on Waco-esque shit you're probably doing. I don't know.
Yeah. I got nothing to hide, but it just kind of bothers me. I'd rather have,
Yeah, as you jerk off to interviews of yourself.
have a DVD. Okay. What's the quantum theory, and has the Big Bang been replaced? I think you want to ask the folks at ICR.org, Institute for Creation Research. They got some physicists there that deal with that kind of stuff and write articles about it.
Quantum physics has nothing to do in the way this clown thinks it does with Big Bang Theory. There's no quantum theory. But of course, this is a question from TikTok, and as we all know, that's where all the intelligent people spend their day.
I try purposely to keep my ministry 4th grade, 5th grade level where kids can get it. I got that one. So Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, because he's after your children.
Replace it with been stupid all along. There is no logical explanation for the universe being here other than there's a creator who's outside of the universe. The guy who created this computer is not in the computer. He's outside.
Well, yes, but that's implying that everyone's going to have that kind of prepper mentality and is just going to be up and ready to go to be able to watch these things that, and it's like, even amongst these clowns, only the most extreme have that kind of BS where they've got generators on tap, etc. And, even then, eventually resources run out at that scale.
Of the computer. God is out. If God is limited by time, space, or matter, he's not God. Time is God. This is not 2025 in heaven. God is outside time, looking at the whole thing at the same time. Now, my brain.
Then that means that the deity automatically knows everything that will happen, and free will is, in fact, an illusion. Completely. As opposed to the probabilistic free will that I subscribe to. Which means your deity knows exactly how people are going to think, how they're going to feel, how they're going to react, etc. And yeah, and also, goddamn it, I hit 0. Motherfucker.
Ministry in heaven.
At least I came back pretty quick.
God is outside of. Is there a good book for John thing at the same time? Now, my brain won't hold all that, neither will yours, but that's.
At least I got back.
The way I think the Bible teaches it is. He's eternal. Okay. Let's see. Is there a good book for advanced ancient artifacts? There are many. The Lost World Museum, the poor guy, John Adolphe just died last Saturday, but his museum stuff is excellent. His website is excellent on this topic. Who else does stuff on that, Joseph?
Pastor Kevin House from Boot Hill Ministry.
Boot Hill Ministry?
Yeah, he was here at our boot camp. He had great archaeology.
Yep. Okay. Hi from New Zealand, and thank God for you. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. How do you pronounce that name? Okay.
Stuff like that.
Question, can you explain why God doesn't reveal himself?
I wasn't even looking at the name. Let me see.
Okay. New Zealand, and thank God.
Tahima Greening. Tahima Greening? You could have at least
Well,
tried.
thank you. Your question's got a built-in assumption, but I guess once he finished his word and delivered his word, he's done. Believe it or not. If you don't want to believe it, fine. A lot of people died so we can hold a copy of that book. Okay? Lots of folks died. More dying right now in countries having their heads chopped off and everything. In African countries, happening a lot now, in Muslim countries particularly, just so we can hold a copy of this book.
Yes, because what goes on over there totally, directly, explicitly affects your rights here in the United States. Was that like fifth-hand persecution complex? What the fuck, Kent? What the fuck, man? But of course you have to milk the deaths of others. You don't care about other people. You care about yourself. And if you can milk anyone's death for your own gain, then that's just what you're going to do.
He did his job. He doesn't have to do any more.
Did a real shitty job. The book is shit. It's obviously shit. And if your deity has a problem with people calling it shit, they can come down and be like, hey, sorry you didn't like this edition. Here's a better copy of it. By the way, I'm the Big Cheese. How you doing? Good to see you. That solved the problem real quick. But your deity's too petty or too incompetent or otherwise just doesn't exist to do it.
Sam, can you explain your opinion on
Watch his DVD number 5. It explains the Ice Age. Everything's on DVD 5, and DVD 7.
Ice Age? I called earlier today. Okay. Let's see. Let me put that one down and open up. No. Ice Age. I think there's no question there was an ice age. There's clear evidence that the ice slid all the way down to southern Illinois. Seminar part 6 of my creation seminar series is where I talk. Get the whole thing for $50. The Ice Age. Let's see. Alt DV. What froze the mammoths? What about the Ice Age? Here we go. Excuse me. What about the Ice Age? Where does that fit into the Bible? There certainly had at least one ice age. Some people say more. Several theories. Here's the Hovind theory. There's obvious, clear evidence that snow was sliding sideways, not just snowing down, sliding clear down to southern Illinois. Okay, the Antarctica completely covered in ice, thick layers of ice. There's the evidence for the Ice Age. So they say it was 10,000 years ago. No, over a kilometer thick. I disagree with the 10,000 years. But when the ice finally melts back, it leaves behind a pile of boulders that it plowed ahead of us called a terminal moraine. So I think what happened, where'd my globe go? Oh, over here, okay. I'm a strong believer in what's called the canopy theory. I don't know that it can be proven, but I think the evidence is pretty overwhelming. There used to be a crystal canopy of 2 or 3 inch thick layer of ice completely.
Why do people get them started on these tangents again?
Surrounding the world. It was probably 10 miles up, I'm guessing. Squeezing with the air that's now out there 50 miles was all squeezed into 10 miles, which would greatly improve conditions on Earth. We'd have under higher pressure, it couldn't rain. Watch the weatherman. When it's a high pressure zone, no rain.
Pressure differentials, you fucking moron. Fucking hell. Air curtain, right? The fuck are you talking about, Kent? You literally have no grasp of thermodynamics at all, do you?
Low pressure, rain. I think it was crystal clear, and the Bible says a mist went forth and watered the face of the ground. The Earth had a very different watering system for the plants. But that crystal canopy is in contact with outer space, which is minus 459 Fahrenheit. That would be super cold ice becomes magnetic. And you can pick it up with a magnet.
No, it doesn't, you fucking moron.
Get ice cold enough. So I think that when the fountains of the deep broke open, it shot up rocks all on the side of the cracks and shattered that canopy, causing it to get shattered up there. And it snowed on the North and South Pole. Pick a number, 20 feet a minute, I don't know, snowed a lot fast. Super cold snow that buried the mammoths standing up. They find frozen mammoths, big, huge, hairy, hippie elephants, standing up, frozen.
I always love the they in this as well. They find. Who are these they, Kent?
Huh. What happened? Embarrassing. Yeah, I think that they gather the mammoth tusks to get the ivory. Mammoths are found all over Alaska and Russia. Not just mammoths, but other animals. They interviewed
Kent, when the Mall of Memphis was being constructed in the very late 70s and early 80s, don't try to go to it now. It was demolished in 2004. I own the trademark document for the original property, though. Have to do a piece on that sometime. Anyway, when it was being built, they actually found mammoth remains there. In Memphis. Mammoths got around, Kent. They got around.
Charles Morrow, he was 81 years old at the time, in Texarkana. He said back in the 50s, 75 people ate mammoth meat at a dinner for the Arctic Institute of North America, where he worked. That's old phone. I'm sure he's dead by now. That was 20 years ago. Okay. Mammoths are found frozen, standing up, undigested food in their stomach and mouth, and they died of suffocation. There's no water in the lungs. Small ice crystals in the blood indicate they froze in less than 5 hours. That requires 300 below zero. I tell the story how I
Just making shit up.
Called Bird's Eye Frozen Food people when I was researching this. I said, talked to one of the scientists there. I said, if I stuck an elephant in the freezer, what would happen?
You talked to a scientist at Bird's Eye Food. What the fuck place did you call, Kent? Which number? What the fuck? His story's a complete load of ass. You talked to random Ted on the floor at Distribution Center 69420.
It was real quiet.
And East Peoria, Illinois.
The other end of the line. I'm sure they're pointing at each other. You know. He said, "Well, you'd have a crowded freezer." I said, "I know. How long would it take to freeze them?"
And that's how you know this story is bullshit, because no one else is going to make a Hovind grade joke.
Mammoth, an elephant. He said about 5 hours. Or no, 4 or 5 days, he said, I think. I said, I got to freeze my mammoth in less than 5 hours because the food in the stomach is still undigested and the acid doesn't know he's dead. Oh, then you got to have, liquid nitrogen, something 300 or 400 below zero. Oh, so at the South Pole, the lowest temperature
Yep, story that never fucking happened, Kent.
ever recorded is minus 127 Fahrenheit. That's not enough to freeze the mammoths the way we find them. 1,000 feet of permafrost. This guy worked up there drilling for oil. They drilled through 1,000 feet, and then they drilled through a 300-foot tall tree standing up. There are no trees around there. Certainly not 300 foot tall. Apparently it got buried quickly. So, watch my video number 6. That would take a long time.
Let me just bring up the polystrate trees again, the creationist's favorite load of garbage.
The Ice Age happened at the beginning of the flood, and what would happen, it would take 500 years for all that ice to melt back if it goes clear down to Kansas City. Let's see. This explains some very interesting things. Let me find it here. It's coming. This is seminar parts. You can get all my
This is riveting television, but hey, let's make sure to advertise my stupid seminars.
slides, all 50,000 of them for $100 on a thumb drive. What happened? Let me go back to home.
You know, he sells that crap presuming that everybody's got a copy of Microsoft Word. And yes, obviously I know of the free and open source alternatives like LibreOffice and OpenOffice and other alternatives, but, I guess the idea is a church would get it and they'd of course have the business software, and it probably wouldn't be licensed because why pay for it?
How did kangaroos get to Australia? That's got in there. The Earth, all the continents have what's called a continental shelf around them. If you lowered the water 200 feet, England and Ireland and Scotland would be all part of France and Wales, okay? The water's really shallow in the North Sea there. Devil's Hole, the deepest place, 780 feet. The rest of it's, pretty shallow. You can see it from space around England there. That's
Just like your understanding of reality, Kent. Also, that's a piece of art, dumbass.
this continental shelf. If you lowered the oceans a few hundred feet, they average 12,000 feet deep. If you lowered them 200 feet, that's what you could walk between Russia and Alaska. You wouldn't even know there's a separation. One big continent.
I don't know, man. Given that it'd be nothing but a barren desert that was once ocean floor, with all the dried, desiccated remains of God only knows how much sea life resting on the surface, I think you'd know pretty well. Because it's funny that we know now when an area was once an ancient seabed.
If you raise the ocean, see, if you lowered the oceans 200 feet, that's what Florida would look like. It would include Cuba. And you could walk up past Nova Scotia to England. I think it got the ocean filled in, spilled over right there, and carved a little canyon between Florida and Cuba and filled in the Gulf of Mexico. Pensacola, Mobile Bay, generally 7 feet deep.
Kent, you called it the Gulf of Mexico. Remember, Trump said you can't do that no more. It's the Gulf of America. What are you, some kind of traitorous hillbilly scum? You some kind of libtard there, Kent?
They have trouble getting ships in out of there because it's always silting in. If you lowered the oceans a few hundred feet, Australia would be a peninsula off Vietnam. You could walk there. So for several hundred years, the animals could walk wherever they wanted after the flood. Meanwhile, the ice is melting back, raising the ocean levels, which shrinks the continents. I think that explains why.
Oh, you mean we've got global warming going on, Kent? This man just accepted climate change.
There are so many underwater cities that have been found, underwater highways. They didn't build it underwater. Okay, they built it when it was not underwater. So continental shelf, there we go. There's a continental shelf. That was probably the ocean level when Noah got off the ark, much smaller, and the ice caps were much larger. Let's see. If the ice caps were bigger, the oceans would be smaller and the continents would be bigger. Noah and his animals could have walked anywhere in the world. So I covered that in video number 6. Okay, any more, Joseph?
Yeah, a couple more back.
Really enjoy your work. Remember watching your video on the flood with Dr. Kaboom. Oh, that was hilarious, Dr. Kaboom. My parents have also seen your dinosaur Adventureland while visiting Ruckman's. Yep, praise God. That's in Pensacola still, closed down. Much better up here. Whew, much better. You ever going to cover?
No, Kent. Your old place actually looked like a real place. What you've got now is... It's too pathetic to be called pathetic.
About red ferns and how many chromosomes they have. I don't remember. I don't know the number of chromosomes of everything in the world.
Chromosome count is functionally irrelevant when discussing evolution insofar as just trying to decry it as some sort of measure of the success or the evolutionization of something, that it's somehow more evolved than another. The values are what they are, but commonalities in sequence, in chromosome numbers, in the structure of the chromosomes, are big indicators of common ancestry. And oddities like the fused chromosome in humans that shows exactly where it fused in the other apes, from the other apes. Fascinating little tidbit.
Did they ever Google it, Joseph? How many chromosomes do red ferns have? And how on earth did they evolve? How could one chromosome evolve? Just one.
How did answer? How did such and such happen? Just one such and such. Emergent complexity, you numbnuts.
Can't happen.
Hey, Doc.
Yep.
I have a question. I've heard that before, but I just thought to ask it now. Do you know what happens to the ice when it gets super cold like that? Why it becomes magnetic? Like in this.
You know why it becomes magnetic? He doesn't know shit.
Well, I cited that years ago. As it freezes, the crystalline structure changes to where, I better not say because I don't remember exactly. I have to go back and refresh. But yes, there's a physical change in the crystalline structure that causes it to be magnetic. Yeah. Okay.
I just double checked. No, super cold ice is not magnetic, and any magnetic properties attributable to water or any other form of it are due to the very slight diamagnetic property that water in and of itself, as the way the molecule is physically structured, have. Because it's going to have one side that's positive and one side that's negative. Well, water is polar like that.
Specific account red ferns is not directly provided. It has over 1,400 chromosomes.
Other ferns have over 1,400. For red ferns, it's not. They don't know. Which is odd.
Huh.
There is something called spin ice. It's not water ice, but there are structures that have materials that have crystal structures similar to ice, magnetic ions instead of hydrogen oxygens. Things like dysprosium titanate, holmium titanate. So titanium and oxygen bonds with I don't even know what atoms those are. I don't know the periodic table like shorthand well enough.
1,260 chromosomes.
Okay. Well, you got to wonder, how can one chromosome evolve?
I told you, you gotta wonder who won. You can't just address being discussed, Kent.
You atheists have great faith. I admire your faith. I think it's on the wrong thing, but you have much more faith than I have.
All right, last one, Doc.
Just wondering, when the earth flooded, how do we have freshwater and saltwater fish? Thanks for helping me grow my faith. Okay, video number...
Zoomy, yeah. It's this Hovind theory thing with water. Like super cold ice is magnetic. And again, while anything water-based has some properties with regard, some reaction to magnetic fields, ever so slightly, in no way, shape, or form does water, ice, or anything of the sort behave like he wants to say it does. He just is completely wrong on that. Like, more so than his normal wrongness on things.
6 again. I cover that about the The whole world was fresh water at the time of the flood. Whole world. And the oceans have been getting saltier every day. When did we cover that? Just the other night, wasn't it? A couple nights ago.
Well, it was with Donna's channel. We hadn't released it yet, but
Oh, we haven't released it yet. On go to Standing for Truth.
yeah.
That was the title of it, fresh water. Some animals have adapted to salt water. We have saltwater bass, freshwater bass. They had a common ancestor called a bass. Saltwater crocodiles, freshwater crocodiles. So Noah's flood took place, whole world's fresh water. And Noah, being 600 years old, probably smart enough to know, let's have moon pools in the ark, holes in the floor with walls inside like ours has.
There you go. He's got to bring up those goddamn moon pools. He thinks he's such a genius with those. It's so pathetic.
That relieves the stress as you go over the waves because the water can come up and down inside. Also, each one acts like a piston pumping fresh air in and out. And you're riding, even when there's no waves, you're always riding, say, 10, 15 feet down in the water called your draft. All your moon pools are full of 15 or 20 feet of fresh water. You want to water the animals? Turn a valve. Don't need to carry water around to all the animals or carry it on board and keep it from going stale. No, all right there. Right? I definitely see Kent's teachings in Donnie. Stand for Truth does great research. Well, thank you.
Oh, that's a load of bullshit. Well, no, you definitely see Kent's stuff because Donnie sucks Kent off.
Appreciate that. They're doing a great job too. Those guys are, Donnie and Matt.
I don't know what the context is, but
Not anything, just living
Look, Raw Matt is one of the most pathetic people I've ever fucking seen.
in Oklahoma and they're oddities. I agree. All right, let's quit. Nothing tomorrow. Sunday morning will be closing up the book of Ecclesiastes. Amazing chapter. Then, all you atheists, please call for some debates. I'm getting.
Cry me a river, old man. Fuck you. Claude Balls pops up saying, just catching up with what Kent said about Corey Ten Boom. Of course he got it wrong. She wasn't Jewish ever, but she and her family sheltered Jews. Corey was sent to Ravensbrück concentration camp, that being one of the most famous women's concentration camps in Nazi Germany proper. Remember I use really powerful magnets to line cells? Yeah. Fix a magnet. You can tell them there's tingles really weirdly. Yeah. And I mean, you're talking massive magnetic fields for a relatively minimal feel. So, yeah. Corey survived. Her family helped the poor and needy, unlike Hovind, who just tells people to work. Yep. Fabled Ark has never been found. Ron Wyatt was a proven fraud like Kent. Say it again.
I've only had 389. I want so bad to get to 1,000. They're real brave in front of their keyboard, aren't they, Joseph?
yes, sir.
And you're real brave in front of your screen. You won't come. You could have come on my show this entire time. What have you been doing all day, Kent? You could have come on my show and defended yourself, but you don't. You won't because you can't.
Come on. Hey, don't remember. Remember, I've got a non-accredited degree.
Ladies and gentlemen, you ever seen a just shy of 73-year-old man behave like a child? Here it is.
Easy picking. Bring it on. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.
Don't drop the soap, old man. All right, so that ends that. Oh no, I don't have much to say. The man sucks. We all know he sucks. At least this didn't take 2 hours. I'm surprised we managed to get through his hour-long spiel in under 2 hours. But yeah, that sums that up. We are pretty good. Kent needs to be reminded how he treated his son at the dentist. Very true. Very true. His mirror is his vagineck. We call it the nussy. Getting worse. And yep, it is. Oh, it looks like there are two beside each other. Yeah, it's getting like that. It's pretty fucking bad. I just go to car, shit or I punish. Shut up or go back. Yep. Don't move. Don't move. I'm gonna beat you, son. But all right. I'm a little tired. It's a Saturday. I don't do crap on Saturdays. Sit in this chair all damn day. I really should go take a walk, but I don't feel like it. If only we could beat him when he lies. True that. I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my evening. The usual links down below, Discord, all that jazz. Yeah, y'all know the usual stuff. Just fuck Kent, I'm gonna keep on doing what I do. Got a couple more Symphony of the Night gameplay videos if y'all want to check those out. More randomizer shenanigans. I'm gonna probably do some other stuff here in the coming months. Expand out. Because remember, this is kind of technically a variety channel. It's just the Hovind thing has been kind of a good focus because, man, this guy. It's a gift that keeps on giving for quintessential stupidity at a regular rate. So, and yeah, you are very welcome. Slapping Baby Kent back in his hole. Slap him in the moon pool. Watch him drown. All right, I'm hop off here. Much love. Catch everyone next time. And again,